Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? All right, we're good. We live. We're good. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Share Button Podcast, Ep.2. We're happy to be back. Very excited for this episode. We got a lot to talk about, all the way from the Switch to PlayStation events and new game releases and everything like that. So before we get started, I just want to start introducing the panel. Today we'll start off with Little. Okay, and then we'll go off to Ant. Oh, okay. And then we got a new guest today. He goes by the name of JT. Say what's up. All right. So just want to go around real quick, just to start off the podcast and everything. Just want to go around and hear from everybody, see what they're playing, like what they've been playing in the past week and everything. And yeah, I guess I'll start off first. I platinumed. What game was it? Ratchet and Clank. That's what I played. Like 3 days ago, I platinumed Ratchet and Clank, and now I'm just kind of looking for the next game to play. I don't really know exactly what's gonna be, but I might be going for some easy platinums. Some of those under the radar. Probably not too prestigious platinums. But hey, I just wanted to get something. So that's what I've been playing right now, and I actually got PlayStation Now. I've been trying that out, so that's where I began. Like, I had the idea to play some of these like not so good games that have easy platinums, but I've been messing around with some stuff. I actually started playing Dirt. You guys know the game Dirt 2.0? It's really good, bro. Like, it's a really good racing game. It's very hard and very strategic. So that's what I've been playing. So let's go ahead and hear from Little because she has to go pretty early in the podcast. And I want to get to the topic quickly as possible. So go ahead and say what you got to say. All right. All right. Ant.
Putting that off. Like I was like on the main boss fight for like 3 months. I went back and I beat it, and yeah, that's really it.
Okay. Nice. JT.
Yeah, man. So I've been playing. The only thing on modern consoles I've been playing is Guilty Gear Strive on the PS5, and it has me. The
Nice.
game has my kids laughing at me whenever I lose and I'm cursing out my TV. But I mean, I've been playing a lot of like old stuff. Like I've been playing my Sega Saturn and PS2 a lot, old games.
Okay. Hey, how's Guilty Gear? I actually really wanted to get that. I thought I was gonna get it day one, but for whatever reason, I just didn't get it.
It's really good, man. I mean, if you like fighting games, even casually, you should play it. The net code, it's probably the best net code in any fighting game I've ever played. Even bad net code is playable.
Okay. Yeah, nah, I seen the game pop off.
We're gonna have to have a share button competition on that one.
I need to learn how to play the game because I've actually played a little bit of the beta, and I wasn't the best at it. So, but I was still
I
excited
mean,
for the game.
it's good. It's very good if you just get into fighting games. Because I mean, even I got my son has my PlayStation account on his PS4, and he's 8 years old and he's playing it. He's on like if anybody's playing the game, you know where the floors are. My son is at floor 6 and he's whooping people like left and right, and he's just learning how to play it too. So I mean, it's very accessible.
Okay,
He'll
what do you
probably
think?
be me.
Yeah, what do you think about that lobby system, like the floors that you're talking about? What do you think about that?
Say that again one more time.
I said the floor system, like how the lobby system is, like where it's like the floors, like based on floors. What do you think about that system?
The actual the lobby system, the floors when you get into them itself, it's not good
Okay.
because there's a lot of disconnects, and I mean like it's not good. But the floor system, the concept itself is good because every floor once if you're too good, it won't let you go into a lower ranking. Like right now, I'm at floor 10. It goes through floor 1 through 10, and once you beat floor 10, you go to heaven. I'm on floor 10, and when I go to heaven, I get my ass whipped and I get sent back down to floor 10. But I'm too good. I can't go back to floor 9 or any of the other previous floors because I'll beat everybody too easily. And
Okay.
but if you're on the lower levels, like my son is on floor 6, he can go all the way up to floor 10 if he wants, and he can play if he wants, and just there's no penalty for playing higher than your skill bracket, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Nah. I just I remember that's one thing that stood out.
You choose the floor.
Yeah, when you first start off, I think they make you go through like a tutorial where you have to fight like the AI, and depending on how good you do in the AI, it'll start you off at like floor like 3, 4, or 5 or something like that, and then depending on how good when you fight, if you lose like maybe like 5 or 6 matches in a row, it'll bump you back down to floor. It'll bump you back down to the lower floor, but then you can always fight back up and get your way back up to the next ranking.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds.
Yeah, man. So that's Guilty Gear, man. I definitely want to play that. That came out like last month, I think. So
Yeah, June 11th.
June 11th. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. It's been popping off too. Like a lot of it's Guilty Gear. I think this is the most popular Guilty Gear there's have been since ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the
That's,
most popular ever.
I've been playing it since the original Xbox. This is the most exposure I've ever seen for Guilty Gear ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
if you want to get into Guilty Gear, now's the best time when it's early. People are only the longer it's out, people are only going to get better.
Agreed. So yeah, guys. So that's what everyone's been playing. So let's just get this thing started. I want to start the show off with the biggest thing of the show, the topic of the show, which is the biggest news of today, which is the Nintendo Switch OLED model. That's what it's called. The Nintendo Switch OLED model. So I'm gonna use some.
Pro.
Yeah, it's the Switch Pro. What are you talking about?
Nah, hold on. Listen, right? So let me go to the specs real quick, right? And then we'll let you guys. I'll go one by one, ask you guys, and then we'll like open the floor and we'll just all go at it. You feel me? All right.
Okay.
So the Nintendo Switch OLED model. So this is a new Switch arriving October 8th this year. It's gonna cost $349. It's gonna have a 7-inch OLED screen, a LAN port on the dock itself, and then 64 gigabytes of internal storage, which is double of the last Switch. And it's gonna have white Joy-Cons, a white dock. It has two variants. You have the neon blue and red, like the other Switch, with a black dock, or you can have all white everything. So the white dock and the white Joy-Cons. It has a new stand. It has enhanced audio. Obviously, the LAN port I mentioned again. And then, yeah, other than that, everything is basically the same. So that is, a lot of the people on the internet are kind of having a lot of opinions on the fact of that everything else about this Switch is the same. Yeah, same internals. But the only thing that's different is the tablet itself. The hardware of it is different in the sense of the screen is bigger and is an OLED screen, and then the speakers are bigger. So,
Yeah. I just want to ask this real quick, right?
yeah.
You mean like Nintendo has notoriously done through all of history?
We'll we'll get to that. So yeah, so there's that. I just want to go one by one and give our, not even our opinion, give a slight opinion, like a quick opinion, but also I want to know if you guys want to buy, if you're gonna buy this day one or even at all in the future. So you can start off, Ant, because you started talking.
Everybody's right. This should have been a Switch Pro, right? It should have been. This should have been 4K, blah blah blah. But listen, the ultimate reality is that's not Nintendo. And believing your insiders on Twitter and stuff like that, that doesn't do you any good except making you disappointed. Nintendo, look at the DS and how many variations of the DS are there? Are any of them more powerful? Like, Nintendo like religiously released hardware that's cheaper and less powerful. So it's just, if they enter the 4K market, now that console has to be in talks with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. If Nintendo stays with what they're doing, which is handheld, the Switch is a handheld that can be played on the TV, not a TV, not a home console that can be played handheld. That's never. This is not for that. And everybody complaining about the price and whatever. Fake outrage too. The Switch is $299.99. No one's paying for that. Even if they complain, they paid for it. This is an upgraded Switch, minor upgrade, minor pricing. It went up $50, not $1,000, not $100, not $200. And to everyone saying, "Oh, that's too close to an Xbox and a PlayStation," go buy an Xbox. Don't buy the Switch. Then that's that simple.
Okay. So I'll get Little. Go ahead.
Okay. I also want to mention like how Noga said that it also has a LAN port. You forgot to mention that.
I mentioned
which I think
that.
is like a. Ooh, did you? I
Yeah.
didn't hear you say that.
for the Smash players and only the Smash players.
Me personally, definitely not getting it day one. Don't try me. They will not get my money. This year I got the Animal Crossing edition for the Switch. I'm good with that one. Has better battery life because I have like the original one. Like I had the day one Switch, so obviously this one is better. The one I just got, but I will say I do love me the color, the white, very beautiful, amazing, and like Ann said, to me is like you guys are the dumbasses, no offense, that like this is Nintendo being themselves. I still have my 3DS right there, my XL, like the huge one. To me, this is like the Switch XL, not a Pro. They never mentioned anything about this. They said themselves like what they were gonna like do 2 new ones, but they never really mentioned like what exactly it was going to be. And then for them to like go from what the Switch is now to upgrade it completely, it's like what will they do next? You know, then they'll have to, like Ann said, compete for real with like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. And to me, honestly, I play my Switch handheld most of the time. I take it with me places. It's handheld. My friends play it handheld. So to me, it's just like, I don't know. But I don't care. I paid $300 for this one with taxes, like what, 3 something already. So 340 or 335, whatever it is, it's not too bad. I mean, you're getting something different at least still.
Okay. So JT.
I gotta say, I agree with Ann Little, and I'll even take it a generation back because I mean, I remember playing on the original Game Boy to the Game Boy Mini or the Game Boy Pocket to the Game Boy Color. I mean, who fooled himself and thought that Nintendo was going to do a mid-generation hardware upgrade? When have they ever done that? Like, I mean, most of the people playing the Switch nowadays, Nintendo's been making games longer than they've been alive, and it's never happened. Why did they think something was going to switch up this time?
Okay. Are you think you're gonna get this at all?
If I still got my base Switch. If I didn't already have a Switch, I would get it, but I see no need for it at all. It's cool that it has a bigger screen. It's good for somebody just getting if they don't already own a Switch, but for somebody, I don't see any need for somebody who already owns one to upgrade to what? To a nicer screen. If you wanted to do that, you could just play on your TV.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, well, just hopping off of what you just said on the TV thing is like, that's one of the biggest issues people have with this is that there isn't any enhancements for docked TV play. So I'll open the floor. Anyone wants to talk about the fact that this upgrade is mainly for people who use this thing handheld because in docked mode, the only enhancement you're getting is you're going to have a dock that has a LAN port. Other than that, there's not much else that they add to it.
Listen, right? Literally look at the Switch and how long it's been out, and there's like maybe 3 games that require you to be docked. You know what I'm saying? Or at the very least, require you to have a detachable Joy Cons and stuff. Listen, if the Switch was primarily a home console and not a portable, they would have never released the Switch Lite. When the Switch Lite came out, that should have been confirmation for everyone. This is a portable console. That again, it would make absolutely like as a consumer and as a fan, like obviously I would love to have 4K Switch games, right? But like from a business point of view, which I don't think you could deny, it doesn't make sense for Nintendo to do that. It really doesn't. Because guess what? I have a Switch Lite, right? And my Switch Lite has a battery problem, so I'm obviously gonna get the Switch, right? And the Switch being $299 and this one being $349. Obviously, I'm gonna just get the 349 one. It has a nicer screen. Everything is just slightly better. And again, I don't think they reached with the price or anything. The Switch has always been overpriced, but again, comparing this like 350, you can get a PlayStation Digital. It's just that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? That's not the point.
Yeah, this is more expensive than Xbox.
I would even argue that Nintendo doesn't even have the same target audience as. They're not even going for the same audience as Nintendo and Xbox. I mean, there's don't get me wrong. There's hardcore Nintendo fans, but I don't think the Switch is a hardcore console in itself. It's a casual console. It's made more for play. I own one. I love my Switch. I play it in handheld all the time. But I mean, it's not where I get my most hardcore gaming experience from. Far from it.
Okay.
So I mean, and I don't think Nintendo's even shooting for that audience at all.
I was literally about to say that. I don't even want a hardcore experience from my Switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, When I'm done sitting there playing the Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 7, the PS5, and I have to fight a boss for 37 minutes. I don't want to turn on my Switch and go get furiously into another game and stuff. I like using my Switch as a cooldown thing, to go play some Smash, go do something simple. Like honestly, the Switch, the problem.
I literally just did that today, fighting the damn the house boss in Final Fantasy, and I died after like 25 minutes. Turned it off, and I played my Switch, man. I did that today.
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree with you.
Like just real quick, chat, Champion Waste had 350 plus tax for an old screen that was on the Vita 10 years ago. You're 100% right.
Yeah,
But the issue
that's
is the
true.
Vita had nothing to take advantage of that screen with. The Vita was ahead of its time. Now you could get that screen on a console that you can actually utilize it and use it. Is it
That's
overpriced?
facts.
Sure, but is that the price and that's what people are going to buy it at? Yep.
I think the Vita is the opposite of what the Switch was, because you said the Switch is what did you say? You said like the Switch is it's not a portable console. It's not like a home console. The Vita was them trying to make a home console portable. It didn't work.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, the Vita for sure. That was the main point of what that was. It was supposed to be, basically a PS3 in your pocket. That was like the whole point of it. Instead of I think the Switch, but I think people have the Switch, and from the beginning they had it messed up, like the idea of what the Switch is supposed to be. 100%, the Switch is supposed to be a handheld that you could have a feature to plug into the TV. And I remember everyone from the beginning, they're comparing the graphics of the Switch with the PS4 and the PS4 Pro and all this stuff. They're comparing left and right, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, look at the Switch. It's literally a little tablet. The PlayStation is a huge console compared to that. And
Like the last time Nintendo directly went for competition directly versus Microsoft and Sony was when the GameCube came out. The GameCube bombed, and I still own my GameCube. That was the last time after the GameCube. That's what I really think Nintendo went for. Like, we're gonna go for a different, more casual audience, and they make bank with it. They're not wrong. They're doing good.
I mean, so this is the next thing I'll talk about, right? Because I will say I do see one thing that I have a problem with, which is the price. So how about you guys? Any opinions on the price itself for this upgrade?
So to me, the price, I just want to say, let's not act like there wasn't a shortage recently, and everyone was in a pandemic recently, and everyone was going on OfferUp getting Switches for overpriced prices. They were being sold out everywhere. People were going. Same thing with right now the PlayStation. Hey, I got the PlayStation for $600 and that's the real thing. People will buy it no matter what. Like literally, Nintendo could put this for $600. There will be enough people to buy it for them to make a good amount of money. So to me, price is like, yes, it's a little more expensive, but at the same time, this is handheld. This is a very big difference for what the Switch is now. Like, especially the screen size, especially if you're playing like certain like type of games. Like if I was playing Breath of the Wild, I think I would love it if it was like with the bigger screen than when I played it with like the smaller screen. So to me, it's just like the price is like, yes, more expensive, but let's not act like people will not buy it because of that. Like, yes, people will complain, but I'm telling you right now, it will be sold for sure.
I'm a tune into my inner BG with this one. I hate talking about prices of things unless they're just like super outlandishly priced, like people selling PS5 for like $1,200 and stuff like that. That honestly, you can't, the price and the value of behind a price tag is solely of the person buying it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm telling you right now, I need to upgrade my Switch, and I will happily pay the $349 to upgrade it to the OLED Switch. It's a nicer Switch, and even though I do think that bigger screens sometimes do hurt the Switch, again, this is an OLED screen, which is definitely going to help with the colors. It's going to make things look more vibrant, pop better, and honestly, it's just who the hell turns on their Switch? I'm not lying to you guys. Go to my channel. I never once went and told you that The Witcher 3 is the best looking game on the Switch. Because if you're going to play The Witcher 3 and you're playing on the Switch, I highly doubt you're playing it for the beautiful textures and character animations. You know what I'm saying? No, you're playing it because it's portable. So if you're going to play it portable, play it the best way you can.
Okay. Listen,
I agree with both of you, because I mean, I don't want to say how I spent more than $600 for my PS5, so I'm part of the problem. But I'm not ashamed to say it, because I've gotten a lot. I've gotten my money's worth and then some with my PS5. It gets used every day. So I mean, if there's a demand for it, people they're gonna whine, they're gonna complain, but they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah. Now listen, my thing is this, right? Listen, all of you guys right now are definitely on a logical mindset. I get it. But I for sure, in my opinion, when I look at this, I'm like, $50 for this though, it's like not much has changed. Like really not much at all. I just feel like this could just replace the normal Switch. I don't even know why this thing like they should just take the other one off the market. I don't know why this like they're even doing this. It just seems like
But
it makes no sense.
It's a business standpoint. Why would you even do that? This Switch is not created to replace the old Switch.
But I think it is though. There's actually a lot of people are talking about the fact that there's this whole conspiracy, right? Let's get down this rabbit hole real quick, right?
Oh
Just because I just want to, because listen, I'm a conspiracy guy, and it's interesting. At least it's interesting, right? So the conspiracy is this: that basically that this Switch was supposed to come out last year, which makes a lot of sense. That part I could believe. That this was supposed to come out last year, but because of the pandemic, obviously it got postponed and everything. So it was supposed to be 2019. They got the Switch Lite. This year they're supposed to bring that Switch out that was supposed to replace the other Switch, and then they were going to make another Pro. Because the big rumor and the big thing that people are talking about is that they're saying that the Switch Pro is still a real thing. That this is not that. That this is the same body as it, but they're going to make another one with the actual chip, and they're going to charge you around like $400 to $500 for the new one. So that's the idea. And the whole point of it, the whole point of them doing this is so that they could compete with Sony and stuff. And yeah, so I mean that's the idea. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, because you're saying, oh, this is not supposed to replace the Switch. Go look at any of the 3DSs at all. Every time they made a 3DS XL, they push the other one out every time. Any of the small sizes, they always push them out.
Okay, I have a question, but before I say that, I'm gonna just look at the chat. Like, look, Coop says that he's waiting for a pre-order. So look, right there, he will pay the full price.
I'm not saying I won't get it. I want to get it day one, absolutely. But I'm just saying
then,
it's $50 for nothing. Like realistically.
I mean, that's still not my question though. But Naoga says, what game really? I mean, it's really gonna benefit from the OLED screen.
Is that a serious question? Any and every game would benefit from more vibrant colors and being.
That comes out the same day. It looks like they're releasing on the same day just for that reason.
But
this is my question now, right?
Yeah.
Why would you want? Because I see a lot of people wanting the Switch Pro right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want something like that when there's a chip shortage right now? So this is, I think, one of the reasons why also nothing was really changed inside of it. But it's like, why would they go and change and upgrade the inside of it when there's a chip shortage? It's like, what?
But listen,
you want it
yeah,
to
be
like
realistic.
The
I mean,
5.0?
I'll take the answer why
2.0?
people say that because they don't care. They don't care about the chip shortage or whatever.
But
They
to
just
me,
care
like,
about the
bro,
fact that
imagine
it
they make,
exists.
Like 10. But to me, it's like, that's stupid. Why would you want something to exist that you will never be able to attain? Because guess what? You're going to just get mad. I can't have it. Why can't I have it? And then if they have a new upgrade, let's say this was $350. Imagine they put it for $399. Oh, people would die. 100%. Like right now, they would die. Especially with the chip shortage. I would make that shit higher of a price. Just because I know people couldn't afford it. And then right there, more people would just complain.
Listen, bro.
I think the thing about Nintendo is that they're greedy. So why would they spend so much money on chips that are in a shortage right now and spend that much money to make a brand new Switch Pro when they've never done that before in the history, when they can just make a Switch OLED? And
to be fair, no, but hey, wait. Because the problem is you can't say they haven't done this in history. They literally done it with the last handheld they did. With they've
always upgraded the screen. They've never made it more powerful.
Yeah, they did. They had the new 3DSs. It has literally Xenoblade. One of the Xenoblade games were exclusive to it. Even though it was the same family of systems, they had exclusive games and exclusive features on the new 3DS XL or whatever the hell it was called.
You're right. I missed out on the XL, so I'll take your word for it. But other than the XL, have they in their history since like '86 or whatever, have they ever done it other than the one time?
Listen. That is fair. That's 100% true. They have definitely done that. But again, in their history of their handhelds, they have done it. You feel me? So, and this is another handheld, like I've stated before. So,
Let me ask you a serious question.
Go ahead.
Oh, first things, all these Switch games, right, are designed to be. Most of these games are anyway. Which again, I'm not a hater to Nintendo. I love Nintendo, right? But most of these games are Wii U games ported over to Switch, and a few games that are built up from the ground up for Switch, right? What game do you want to play on 4K? None of these games are.
It's not even about 4K. I'll be honest, bro. It's more about if they had a more powerful chip, we'll get better frame rates. That's it. That's really all that matters.
Shortage.
I'm mad that Breath of the Wild plays at 30 frames. I've heard the best argument for a Switch Pro I've heard is that if they announce whenever Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, that's when they'll release a Switch Pro because it'll have it running at 60 frames. Which that'd be nice. That I would upgrade immediately if that came out.
Yeah, listen, I mean, that's just the truth. Again, I understand, like, okay, the 4K thing, whatever, everyone keeps talking about that. But again, if the way they were going to do 4K anyways with this chip is with DLSS, which is just upscaling, they were never going to run 4K natively. So the point of that is, in my opinion, just going to have a more powerful chip, and you'll be able to play games at a little bit, at least, smoother frame rates, because one of the first-party games, the Hyrule Warriors Calamity, Age of Calamity game, it drops down to single-digit frames. Like, it literally looks like the game freezes. That's how bad the frame rate is in that game. That's a first-party game. That's unacceptable. And you can play that game, again, I know this just because I know this. I never tried it. But on PC, there's ways to play that game at full 4K 60. So I'm just saying.
Is that a launch Switch game?
No, that's a game that came out like last year, I think.
Okay. You know what's really bad? I bought Legend of Zelda DX, the Awakening, the one that came out for Game Boy, and then they did the remake for Link's Awakening. That's my favorite Zelda game. Yep. I returned it when I bought it because it dropped frame so much on the Switch version. It was disgusting, man. Yeah. And it makes me snob, but maybe I am a frame rate snob because I couldn't play it.
A lot of these problems have been around since the Switch came out, right? And what was Nintendo's solution to it? Hey, let's drop a Switch Lite. You know what I'm saying? We have frame rate problems. Let's drop a Switch Lite, screen smaller, and these ugly ass blown up games like Xenoblade Chronicles will look slightly less ugly. They didn't make an attempt to fix the issue by making a more powerful Switch. Here we are in 2021, not getting a more powerful Switch, just a slightly better tuned Switch. And again, it's like, listen, if you want frame rates, you want 4K, go play on PC, go play on Xbox, go play on PlayStation 5. If you want to play Mario and Luigi's Mansion and Legend of Zelda, then you're going to play it on the Switch, running it the way Nintendo wants it to run. You said that Hyrule Warriors, the Age of Calamity was unacceptable, and you're 100% right. But you know what? That game sold. It sold, and that's a...
Nintendo fans, they're willing to take that hit. They're willing to take that hit.
Oh, that's a...
Well, listen, they had to take that hit because they have to. They have no choice, and that's the worst part. It's like that. But look what they keep doing. They're gonna drop another console again and charge you $50 for absolutely nothing, just for a screen upgrade. Come on, like.
Nah, don't forget the LAN. Don't forget it.
Yeah, a LAN cable that you could just buy. You could just buy that LAN cable if you want on your Switch. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, listen, I get it.
Skyward Sword remake this and look at and guess how how bad that's gonna sell out.
Oh, it's gonna sell like crazy. I know this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, let's sell the same damn game for not discounted. Same game with Amiibo access, where they lock some stuff behind Amiibo, charging $50 for it, and people are so pissed off about it that all I see is people talking about it on Twitter whenever you mention Skyward Sword, and it's gonna sell like crazy. Yep. Nobody's gonna put their money where their mouth is. That's why Nintendo feels entitled to what they do.
I wanna talk again to Champion Wave because he says, why can't people just enjoy Mario in glorious 4K? I feel like Nintendo's cheating people, bro. And the truth is, Champion, you know it, I know it, Lamb, JT, Alberto knows it, Nintendo knows it. Everybody knows that Nintendo is fool. They are foul. That's literally.
Do you
Nintendo.
know how many like Switch console editions have come out? Like literally, just like be like, oh look, we have a new one here. The Animal Crossing sold out mad quick. And what was it? Just literally just putting like the Animal Crossing stuff there. I mean, I bought it. I got rid of my old Switch for this one because they get you. They're smart. They know they do it smarter, not harder. And Nintendo knows that their fans will do anything that it's okay.
Listen, I know, but okay. But the problem is, at the end of the day, they're not right with that, though. I mean, that's again, I'm on your side, guys. But for sure, I feel like there has to be some type of admitting of an understanding of like, there's outrage on the internet, and it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. I get why people are mad.
Me, right? But to me, the outrage is stupid because it's like, Nintendo never, ever told you guys a Switch Pro was coming. The Nintendo Direct happened in E3. And everyone, I remember that day, people were like, oh my gosh, it's coming today. It's coming. The GameStop thing happened with like the whole Switch. And people were like, oh my gosh, this GameStop ad means that the Switch Pro's coming. And I was like, you guys are reading into this too much. Because nowhere in hell does it even give it like the Nintendo Pro. Guess what? They didn't show it. And what? What happened? People were so mad, and it's like at this point, it's like you guys have been setting yourselves up for this. Literally happened with the Nintendo Direct right there. You guys didn't learn your lesson. Like I don't know at this point what to say. It's like
Wait, before you say something, I just want to ask Little Lamb real quick because it's to both of you, but I want to answer quick because I think she has to go soon. But I want to ask you this one
Yeah.
thing: is who do you want to blame for that though? Do you blame the media for making the articles and stuff about it, or do you blame the consumers for going crazy? Like who do you blame for
I blame
this?
both. I blame both because to me it was what I saw it most as, and this is why I'll say both, is because I didn't see as much media stuff until like after. But to me, it started off with all these people who have, like exclusive, like people who tell them stuff like, oh yeah, we know the. To me, it was like Twitter, like people on Twitter who talk about like, oh, there are these gaming people, YouTubers who have insiders or whatever. I blame them, and to me, those are consumers. They're not media. To me, they're more consumers than media. When you start that, the media then, oh look, people are talking about this. Click, click, clack. They start fucking writing their articles about it. So to me, it's both. It's both, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll tell you like this. I don't care who you want to blame. You want to blame the fake insiders. You want to blame consumers for believing false prophecies. I'll tell you who you can blame: Nintendo, because they never told you this was coming.
Okay, well, I mean,
once say like that they wanted to focus on the Switch for like a few years before they made ever a new console again. Because I feel like they said that like when the Switch was released. Like
I mean, but the Switch
the
released
first
how
2
long?
years.
Like 4 years ago? Or something like that?
2017, 4 years. And yes, like if you
That's a
think
long
about
time.
it, the Wii U was 2012, and then the Switch came out with 2017, so it was like a 5-year gap. But I remember, I think they really said themselves like, hey, like, we really want to focus on the Switch. So to me, it's like right there. They never even teased anything, nothing about it. To
I
me, it's
know,
just like,
they never did that, but again, they're just
it's faith. You have faith
all
on
I'm
something
saying-
that has never been said. It's like, to me, it's the same thing as like when you like try to guess if like, to me, this just reminds me of like those like Us and like stupid magazines where like they just like one little nail color, like, oh my gosh, she's emo, or something stupid like that. They just, and people
talking
believe
about
it.
tabloids?
To me, it's just like yeah,
celebrity
tabloids.
tabloids?
But to me, it's like I wouldn't consider them media, because
I mean,
it's,
no.
like, mostly fake.
Bloomberg wrote about it, which is completely like journalists and everything. They wrote about this. They wrote big articles about this, talking about 4K this and blah blah blah. But okay, but
Because
listen,
they're
listen. But I will say
insiders.
this: what do you guys think, at least about the whole rumors or whatever, saying that they're not wrong. There's actually just another Switch, but it's not coming out this year, so it's another one. And
To me,
basically,
it's
it got
like-
all mixed up because of COVID. Because remember, we had these rumors since 2019, or even a little bit before that, like the same exact rumor about the same exact things. So people are saying that what happened was that the Switch Pro and this Switch, the information on it got all mixed up, and people didn't really understand what this was, because the Switch Pro is gonna have the same body and the same like physical specs as this, but when they make the Switch Pro, they're just gonna change the chip inside of the thing, which I believe that's actually pretty possible.
Okay, well,
Believe
to
what
me,
you
right?
want.
I read
You
an
can believe it,
article
but-
once, but this is why I say, well, we'll see when it happens. That's why I don't really get hyped for stuff, because it's either 50-50, but I do remember once, but it was, I think, an older article that they said that they're going to release like 2 Switches. And hey, like I said, the article could have been a lie, could have been truth. Maybe this is the first one that they were talking about, and maybe the second one is the Pro. But all I will say is I'm not getting my hopes up. I will just wait and see, because I can wait.
When Nintendo releases the Switch Pro, that's just gonna be the Switch U, and it's gonna be a whole new generation.
Yeah. All I'm saying about the Switch, I will say though, is just the name 2 to me just screams that this is not. I don't know. I just feel like it just seems like a placeholder name. I definitely feel like this Switch is gonna replace the other ones. So I don't know. That's just what I think about that. It's gonna be I think it's gonna replace the normal Switch, and then the Switch Lite will still be on sale. And regular Switch, the $300 one's gonna be phased out, and then they're gonna make another Switch and make it more than $350 to hit that $400 mark, so they can get into like the game with PlayStation and Xbox to make some money.
Maybe it'll happen soon.
It could happen. I don't think it's likely, but it could happen. I've been wrong before.
Yeah. And then like chat, Adamiku says, seems like Nintendo's usual MO. They make a product, wait for a few years, upgrade it with tech they could have used from the start.
Yeah, they could have used that from the start for sure. 2 years ago when they upgraded the Switch V2 or whatever, that should have been this. But I do not know why they did
right
that.
there.
It's really stupid. I mean, my theory on that What happened?
No, I was gonna say so. Yeah, I agree with you. The V2 Switch should have had an OLED screen. It should have replaced this one. But again, it's just that typical Nintendo thing, guys. That's how it's gonna be. They're gonna squeeze every penny they can out of this, and
But they
then
know.
they'll release a Switch Pro, or maybe they'll just go on to the next gen and try to squeeze another a nice little niche console that they can squeeze another 100 mil out of if they get lucky.
But the only thing I'll say about the Switch V2, I would at least chop that all up to desperation on fighting against piracy, because the original chip actually had a flaw to the chip itself and was able. That's how you're able to hack the Switch. And once they change that chip, you're not able to do it anymore. So I'm pretty sure like that's why they made it, and they made it that quick, and they didn't really do any revisions to the Switch at all. It was just because they wanted that. So that's what I think. That's why that happened. But yeah,
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get an OLED Switch. Like I said, I'm gonna upgrade my Switch. Only $50 more. So, I guess I'm gonna be on the wrong side of history with this one.
I mean I am too. I want one day one, so that's I'm definitely getting one day one.
I'll
So that's gonna be
wait.
exciting.
I'll wait too. I'll wait.
Yeah. I don't have a Switch, so but there it goes.
See, there's your reason.
Yeah. All right, so we can move on to anything else you guys want to say about this topic.
No, I'm good on that.
All right.
Easy.
Switch, Nintendo Switch OLED model comes out October 28th, 2021. It'll be $349. Check it out.
Plus tax.
Yeah, and also, stay subscribed to the channel. I'll definitely be giving some updates on this thing. So, move on to the next thing. Next topic of the day is there has been a state of play announced for this Thursday, and it's going to give an extended look at the game Deathloop.
Yes.
And this is going to happen. It's going to be get ready for approximately 30 minutes of an indie and third-party updates, including a reality warping tour of Black Reef Island. I'm pretty sure that means something that's in what's that game called? Deathloop. And from their tweet, I remember they mentioned something about indie games and third-party games. Oh yeah, right here. It says in addition to this, long look at Bethesda's Violent Adventure. We'll be having updates on some exciting indie games and third-party titles. The full show clocks in around about 30 minutes. So this is interesting. We got an announcement for a new conference, a new state of play, but the rumors and everything that came out for the past week after E3 and everything, everyone was talking about there's gonna be a huge PlayStation event, all this stuff. So I just want to go around and just see if anyone wants to give their opinion on this, and is this the PlayStation event we wanted? Are you guys excited for this? What's up?
I don't think it's the one we wanted, but I'm very excited. Supposedly around 30 minutes. I love indie games, so to me, I'm very excited to see what indie games and third-party games they're actually going to showcase. Deathloop was one of the games that when they first announced it looked interesting to me. Not my type of style of game, but I still would be very interested to see the gameplay that they're going to show. Another thing that they did mention was that I guess either to just let us know off the hand so no one expects anything, that they said that they will not be talking about updates on God of War, Horizon, Forbidden West, and other gen like PlayStation VR stuff. So very small is what they're going for, apparently. And I'm okay with
That's
that.
correct,
at
yeah.
least for now.
Yeah, that's correct for sure. Anything else to say?
That's a big L. Nintendo came out, right, when the world was expecting the Switch Pro, and they said, yo, here's the Switch OLED. L. PlayStation said, yo, hold my beer. We're going to announce a state. Listen, I love Sony, God knows, right? But then they don't do state of plays good. You know what I'm saying? State of plays are trash. And I'm sorry. State of play for a game that's going to be on Game Pass, yeah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? If that's the outlining game here, this was an L for insiders. The L for insiders, you know what I'm saying? If I cared about the indie games, bro, I watched them on YouTube. I watched them on Twitter when they tweeted out. They're not talking about any of the big Sony games, which is what everybody wants and needs. So it's just this is an L. You can skip this whole thing and you'll be perfectly fine. Trust me. Lil Lamb, your interest in Deathloop, you'll probably be killed that day.
Damn, man.
Damn, why?
Damn.
What the hell? Okay, well, JT, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah, man, that hurt me. So I'll be the first to say I'm a big Sony fanboy. I love story-driven single-player games. I've been a fan of Sony since PS1. I grew up with it.
Yep.
So my hype meter, I'm at like a 50%. Like this state of play could go either way because I haven't seen anything really interesting with Deathloop. There's I'm not the biggest fan of too many indies out there. I mean, I try, but there's not too many that hold my interest like that. I have gaming ADD, so it's really hard for me to stay focused on a lot of games. And but I want to see what's coming, what's gonna be what they're gonna have with third party support. But I mean, I'm really waiting. Nothing with PlayStation is hyping me up right now, unless this whole rumor with Hideo Kojima comes out and there's a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake coming out for the PS5. Anything else, I'm not even interested in anything Sony related right now. I'm not interested in Horizon. I'm not like I'm burned out with open world games. I got like 100 hours in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 100 in Valhalla. I got 200 in Red Dead 2. I mean, I don't know who isn't burned out on open world games. So I mean, that's how I feel about it. This state of play could go either way. If there's something good, I from what they're announcing, I don't see anything hype. I don't see anything too interesting, but
I mean,
I'm cautiously interested.
I'll be fair. Like I'm really interested and really hyped for Kenna, the Bridge of Spirits. Like there's games there, right, that I do care about. I just don't care about the state of play. It's not worth me sitting down in front of my computer screen or even in my phone for 30 minutes because if the brunt of this is Deathloop, then I'll catch the rest of it on Twitter. I'm not watching that. What is this? You know what I'm saying? That again, I'm not
Minutes.
interested in Xbox type games on that. You feel me?
Uh-oh. Why you have to mention Xbox for? Is there a reason you mention Xbox?
Nope. Yeah, because I don't. It's the same thing. Honestly, I wouldn't watch if Xbox is gonna have a showcase and they're gonna talk about third party games. I have no interest in watching games that I could play on PlayStation. I'm not
Well,
gonna watch
okay.
a exclusive thing to sit there and look at games that people are gonna get on Game Pass. Like, no, I'm good on that.
Well, the
That's,
correct answer is because
that's
this is an Xbox game, so because Microsoft owns Deathloop, so yeah, that's the other
bro.
part about this. It's like it's a little weird,
It's a
but
little weird, yeah.
The truth, bro. That is fucking weird. But for all I care, Bandai Namco could own Deathloop because again, that's just as irrelevant. It's just it doesn't matter who owns it. That game does not look interesting to have a state of play behind. If that's what the state of play is behind, then nah, that's not. That's a L.
Maybe there's a little surprise in there. I think this is just like a placeholder for something else, like later, maybe around December, November, that they're probably gonna have like their own like actual like big showcase. But I think this is more like a placeholder, like, hey, it's us. I know we didn't do anything for E3, but here's 30 minutes of indie and third party games, and then just you wait a little bit longer, which to me is fine. Like I said, I enjoy indie games, so I'll try to look, and if not, Twitter's there for me, so it's not like I'll miss anything.
That sounds right because they didn't have Sony. They weren't at E3 at all, so it sounds like a little placeholder, a little appetizer to keep people held over until they do like their big show.
so you guys thinking there's a big event
Honestly,
coming this month or like later, like way later?
Later.
Well, I think before
Uh-oh.
I don't have an insider to tell you that's gonna be next month on the 8th. You know what I'm saying? Like all I could tell you is that again, this isn't that. You know, they did this backwards. Like Sony could have just tweeted the updates on the game, and Nintendo should have did a mini direct for the fucking console. And instead, Nintendo tweets out a tweet about a whole console coming out, and a PlayStation wants to do a whole state of play to a Game Pass game, and third party exclusives. Like, huh. My God, you know what I'm saying? That literally that could mean anything and everything. Like that could just be like, hey, you know, they have the marketing deal with Call of Duty. That could just be literally a limited time Call of Duty exclusive that's gonna come with the next Call of Duty or something like that, and that would be classified as a third party exclusive.
And the more you talk, the less interested I am in it. Thank you.
You're absolutely welcome.
Yeah, to me, I guess my opinion on this whole thing is I don't care really. I honestly I miss a lot of state of plays. I've only probably seen like one or two of them live, which was probably the Last of Us one, and I don't really like that's the only notable one I remember. I honestly don't remember like any other like specific state of plays. So
The day gone video of it running at like 720p. That one.
oh my god. Well, there's state of play. Obviously, like to be fair, I mean Nintendo. Obviously, this was a copy on Nintendo's Nintendo Directs, and Nintendo failed at it. So PlayStation's failing at it too. So I guess the era of good little shows like this are just dead or something.
I mean, we'll see how many people watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, y'all?
All right, guys. I'm just gonna go
All right.
because it's 7:45. But thank you
All right.
guys for having me. Bye. Enjoy the show. I'll
All
try
right.
to watch it from my phone. Bye, guys.
All right, see ya. Let me try to.
So what's the next?
We'll move on to the next topic right now. Okay, so the next topic. Let's go ahead. I'll just shifting things around. Our next topic is going to be about Konami and Blueberg. I believe that's what we're talking about. Or not Bloomberg, but Blooper Team. Or Bloober Team. I always say their name wrong every single time.
It's the team that made what's the game for Xbox, right? What is
The Medium. They made the Medium, yep.
that's right.
All right, so yes, let me get into this. So basically, here I'm reading from Bloober Team's website themselves, the strategic partnership of Konami Digital Entertainment and Bloober Team. And basically, they're just talking about how it's a historic day for them. You know, they're a small indie studio to be partnering with one of the biggest players in the world, Konami. And, you know, and basically, they're just talking about they're going to have a partnership together and they're going to make stuff together. They're going to use their IPs, I guess. They never really go into specifically what it is. But I forget the other. There's another website I read on that they basically have sources that basically they're going to be working on a Silent Hill game. So that's the main news about this, is that they're going to be working on a Silent Hill game. That's not the only Silent Hill game being made. That's one of the Silent Hill games being made. So what do you guys think on this whole thing? You know, Bloober Team and Konami. Konami hasn't made, they've like left the the AAA space for a while now. So what do you guys think about them coming back?
Honestly, man, you really got me on the bet. I have to agree again with Champion Wave. That's another possible L because honestly, right? Bloober, like literally, they don't make any good games. You know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but at least recently they haven't made anything good.
Bloober Team?
Because I mean, the medium isn't good. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Observer. I hear that's a good game.
What
Listen,
games do they
I'm
have?
gonna tell you right
What else?
You said
What
what?
other games do they have? I know they made the Medium. And what else?
Yeah,
Blaze of
Blair
Fear, Blair Witch. What else?
Go ahead, Amber. I'm gonna just say this real fast, man. As someone, I grew up playing Silent Hill. Silent Hill 1. I think it's good. I think what the studio was missing is they were missing some money. Konami has money with enough backing. They could do good with this with a Silent Hill game with this IP. I didn't play the Medium. I didn't really play Silent Hill. I looked at not Silent Hill, Blair Witch. I looked at a lot of reviews and everything for them. I saw a lot of gameplay and let's plays for them. And I mean, if anything, the gameplay may have been average at best if you want to be nice, and some people weren't too nice. But from what I was seeing, the atmosphere. No, I don't see anybody complaining about the atmosphere for the game. They both looked like they were supposed to do. And if anybody played the old Silent Hill games, they weren't. You know, the gameplay in them wasn't a masterpiece.
Yeah, that wasn't the point.
Yeah, I mean they were clunky as hell, man. The old Silent Hill games were they played worse than the old Resident Evil games.
That's true. Well, again, because remember the Silent Hill games, the combat wasn't everything. Like that wasn't the point. You feel me? Like Resident Evil, at least like obviously the combat wasn't crazy in Resident Evil either, but it was definitely a lot more than it was in Silent Hill. You feel me? It was a lot more like fleshed out.
I'll even say this: with Resident Evil, as the games as they evolved further along, the combat got better. Say what you will about whatever games, like even a lot of people hate on RE6. I like RE6, but I mean the one thing you can't complain. There was options to play. You could do like tactical flip switch weapons. You could do whatever the hell you wanted in RE6. Silent Hill, the further along the games got, the gameplay got clunkier and worse and clunkier. I mean, I like Silent Hill 4. I like Silent Hill Homecoming. I like the Silent Hill Origins. I like them all, but they played like shit, man. They all got progressively worse.
Yeah, and I like what you said about like the fact that Bloober Team, right? How you said like so as you stated, right? That basically Silent Hill is more about the atmosphere, and the combat has always kind of been second. The thing is about Bloober Team, I'm not really sure if any of their games, any of these horror games ever had any combat. They're all kind of like walking simulator things. That's the only thing I could see where it's like they need to add at least something, add like some type of combat in it, and I think they'll be good. You feel me? Because again, I do think they get the atmosphere right. I have seen people say that the storytelling isn't the best, so but like how you said though, like with a budget, I definitely think that there could be a possibility that this could be something at least decent, you know?
This could be good because a lot of people they hold Silent Hill up in like high regards. It's a golden classic and everything. They forget that. I remember when Silent Hill 4 came out. Silent Hill 4 got shitty reviews. No, I got Silent Hill
Yeah,
4 for
yeah.
nobody was playing Silent Hill 4. Silent Hill Homecoming, everything after Silent Hill 3, people hated on it when it came out when it was there. They only look back on it now with fonder memories. But I think good things can happen.
Yeah.
It can't be any worse than the past 3 or 4 Silent Hill games that came out, including the last one that came out for PSP that I think was a dungeon crawler like Diablo. So
Yeah, that was the last one that came out. Yeah, it was called the Book of Memories or something like that.
Yeah, but no, that's it. I think that's the Blair Witch 2 movie. No, Blair Witch 2 is Book of something. You're right, man. It's Book of something.
It's like book of something. I don't know. It's something like that. Yeah, but it's like a Diablo game.
It's not Silent Hill. Whatever it was.
Yeah, it was not Silent Hill at all. What was I going to
I
mention? Okay, yeah.
That anybody, I believe that stand a chance of coming right and possibly doing a good game. I just think that no matter what the history of Silent Hill is, bringing it back to the light, I just think it's a lot of it's just really spooky to give it to Bloober. You know what I'm saying? Really, it really is.
Who would you give it to? Do you think there's a developer out there who you think you got faith in?
Honestly, with the budget that they have, right? And I open up a can of worms, but the budget they have, they might as well just let Kojima do it. You know what I'm saying? Because with all the money in the world that they have, why Bloober? Like,
PT's done. It'll never happen. I wish right now. I wish we were in a different universe where they let Kojima do what he needed to do when PT was the thing we were all playing. And even on, I love Death Stranding. I wish PT came out instead of Death Stranding. But it'll never. It would take a miracle for it to happen. I don't see it ever happening.
But even if not Kojima, you said like who else? It's like honestly with their money, really anybody. They literally could have got any. It's like my question is why Bloober? Because
Okay, but yeah, but think about it, Ant. Who else would you pick? Who's a prominent who's making horror games right now? Like who makes consistent horror games all the time? Anyone else? Any other developers you know?
The only other developer off the top of my head is Tango.
Is which one?
Tango. The one on the Evil Within, and their game, their ones are more like. Is that Bethesda? No, Bethesda's the publisher.
Yeah, but Bethesda owns them. Yeah, Tango. Yeah, I'm talking about
what about the team who made Outlast? Like, at least they made
Red Barrels
game.
But you have to understand though, Silent Hill isn't what they have made. They've made their own kind of genre of horror, which is games where you just frantically just run away from something the whole time. It's like that's not what Silent Hill is.
Yeah, that's true. It could do it. No, I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good. I forgot about them. But other than those two, I can't even see any other developer other than those two that was really atmospheric like Silent Hill.
Let's be fair, right? Let's be fair. We know Outlast 1 and 2 are at the least good games, right? And then
Outlast 2 people don't like that much.
And Blair Witch I'm not talking about if people like it, if it's their cup of tea.
That's what that matters.
Not bad. You feel me? Versus objectively looking at Blair Witch and these other games that they're just literally bad games. It's more realistic for me to think that the people who went out and made Outlast could just branch out slightly more and just make combat in their game to make a Silent Hill game. Then it makes more sense for me to think that Bloober's gonna come and make a good game at all.
So you hold Outlast 2 in a higher regard than
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about?
Because Outlast 1. I know Outlast 1. That's held in high regard. I was under the impression that it wasn't considered that good.
I have it pulled up right now. The medium has a 75 and Outlast 2 has a 68.
Well, damn.
How much does Outlast 1 have?
Huh?
I'm just saying, you got it with Outlast 1, but I think they messed up with Outlast 2.
Even if they messed up with Outlast 2, right?
Yeah.
Literally, that's one method versus Bloober's multiples. Like, again, I still think it's more realistic for them to hone it in and make a better Silent Hill than if it was Bloober going to come and make a good game at all.
Make other than Blair Witch in the medium. If we're going 1 for 1, these people who made
Observer. They made Observer, which is another one of their games that were regarded pretty well. Look it up right now. Yes, you said Observer has a 78.
Again, I just don't. I don't know. I don't. Again, you do something with it, sure. But I'm not hyped for that. Like a Bloober Silent Hill, I'm good on that.
I just feel that
Again, all multiple of their games, and it's just they're nothing special to them. It would be tragic for another Silent Hill to come out and make a return, and it comes out as just nothing special.
Listen, all I will say, the only argument we have against Bloober team is that maybe their writing isn't the best when it comes to the story, but their atmosphere or even their combat isn't the best because they don't even have any combat. But you can't say they don't have the atmosphere there because they have the atmosphere. At least they have the atmosphere. Outlast and the people who make the Red Barrels, the people who make Outlast, and who else you guys mentioned? The Evil Within. I feel like again, I think those are just they're not too Silent Hill. I feel like Evil Within is kind of close to it, but it's just too Resident Evil. That's the way I feel about Evil Within. It's a little bit. It has a lot of Resident Evil.
That's because the person who made the Evil Within is Shinji Mikami.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to like throw it out there.
I'm in agreement with you 100%. I think the best people for it would be Bloober. I think if anything, I don't think you can critique Bloober on their atmosphere, and I think that was the main driving force for Silent Hill.
Yeah, it's atmosphere.
Well, I mean, I played them all. I played all of them, but I played them as they were coming out. So, I think atmosphere is the top thing in them.
Exactly. I agree. But listen, I want to mention one thing about this before we move on, right? This is the most important thing about this. They say here in this VGC article, they're saying that VGC understands that Konami has already outsourced at least one other Silent Hill project to a prominent developer in Japan. And there could be even more developers working on their own projects. So who do you guys think this other developer, a prominent developer in Japan working on Silent Hill? Who's this? Who is that? Like, I don't know who that would be. Who do you guys think? People are saying Kojima Games. I don't know.
My mind hasn't even come to think of any other developer in Japan who could even take on Silent Hill. I don't even know, man.
People are saying Capcom. People are saying Capcom, but I'm like, I don't know about that.
I can't see Capcom putting it. They would be competing with themselves. They already got Resident Evil. I don't think they would put out another horror franchise because it would take away numbers from the horror franchise they already got.
Exactly, and I think at the end of the day, Silent Hill and Resident Evil, from the core of their existence, is like against each other. Like I think 100% Konami made it because they saw Resident Evil and they were like, oh, we need something like that, you know?
Bro, that's absolutely what happened. That is but they come from two. They wanted to make their own clone of Resident Evil, but they didn't have the budget that Konami had to do, like the big Hollywood action. So they got a bunch of. It was called Team Silent. They got a bunch of like. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, you know the story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, Capcom, I just don't see it.
You gotta also understand, right? And honestly, this is gonna sound crazy when I say this, but just bear with me, right? In the chat, somebody said Bandai Namco.
Okay.
Listen,
I don't think so, but maybe this one's
again, be another publisher too, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if Square Enix stepped out of the bubble and tried to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, they stepped really far out the bubble when they made an event game. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest, Ant, though.
And notoriously known for working with Sony.
Let me be honest with you real quick though, right? If Square Enix makes a Silent Hill game, that's worse than Bloober Team making a Silent Hill game. I don't care what anyone says. Like Square Enix would ruin that.
Can you even think? I can't think of any horror titles on Square Enix's their belt other than like Parasite Eve 1 and 2 back in the PS1 days.
The Avengers is a horror game, bro.
Yeah.
So what is like the biggest rumor right now? A lot of people are, at least you could call it rumor, you could call it wishful thinking, but everyone's saying Kojima Productions. What do you guys think?
I just think that the bond between Kojima and Konami is just so far off. I just feel like that's severed, and I just feel like out of spite towards Kojima, just for the way it all happened, I just don't think that's possible.
I think you're right, mate. Hey, did you guys watch the Game Awards where Konami was so spiteful? They told Kojima he couldn't go to the Game Awards that 1 year.
Well, yeah, I think that was because he was under contract. He was under NDA. He couldn't leave at the company until January, and that was in December.
You're right, but I think, and I mean, like, don't take this. I'm not talking bad about any other culture or anything, but I think Japanese people, we don't understand because we're American. I think they're so rigid in the business world. They would never go back to working with Kojima.
I agree. I get what you're saying for sure.
It would be awesome if they did, man. I think that would be the best fit for it. I think I'll fanboy all day with Kojima. We don't got time enough for me to do it. but I don't think it would ever happen.
So the next person I would say is because we talked about Capcom, Bandai Namco. Who else? We talked about Square Enix. So what do you guys think of another one? I guess you could probably say Sony, I guess, but PlayStation. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that.
What studio? I don't even know what studio would they have inside their like internal studio would they have to do a horror game. I can't think of any.
Yeah, because they made Siren. Remember the Siren game? But I think that was made by Japan Studio, which is disbanded or whatever. So I don't even think they have much of anything there.
That's like PS2, right? That was a
Yeah,
long time.
PS2, PS3. There was a PS3 game, but it was like episodic.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So
So then
I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah. If they still had like a big like horror studio inside of Sony, I would be like, yeah, but I can't see anybody picking up and doing it.
I mean, the only person I would see, I mean, this is insanely crazy, but they do have a horror studio, which is Naughty Dog, because Naughty Dog has made The Last of Us, which is a horror game. I mean, it's based in zombies and stuff. So
Didn't they say they're working on new IP, right?
yeah, they are working on new IP, but we don't know what that is, you know.
Yeah.
I definitely
I
think,
would
right,
Naughty Dog. I would trust Naughty Dog with the. I don't know if they could pull off the Silent Hill IP, but if they got it, I would trust them with it.
Oh hell
I think
yeah.
they could.
That'd be amazing.
I definitely think that like with Sony, I don't think they need a whole prominent team dedicated to horror. I think they need people who are familiar on working on horror with a good team and good horror writing, and I think that's more than enough for Sony to pull it off.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like I want to mention Microsoft and stuff, but the problem is like this article is talking about a prominent developer in Japan, and I'm just like wondering like who is this developer they're talking about? Because it doesn't make much sense to me of who these people can be because they're prominent, so they can't just be some indie studio they're working with, you know?
Micro. So.
What?
Saying it would be crazy if it's Kojima because it's sounding like it, but it just like there's like a snowball's chance in hell that it would actually happen.
I'll say this random one real quick before we move on. Do you guys think Nintendo has any chance of touching this at all?
Yeah.
Really? I don't think Nintendo's touching that. I don't think Nintendo's touching any horror games like that.
Okay.
Listen, I'm chances are slim, but I definitely think it's possible, right? We've seen with Zombie U. We've seen
The Fatal
Nintendo
Frame.
does not shy away from having Fatal Frame. They do not shy away from having horror games on the Switch. I mean, they have Omnimusion on the Switch.
Oh, that's kind of.
What happened, JT?
Which game? Say that again.
They have Omnimusion. They have almost all the playable Resident Evils that can be on. So 1 through 6, 0.
Horror, man. I mean, what was the? I can't think. What was the last generation that Nintendo actually like published a horror game? Was it Zombie Wii U? On the Wii U?
That's a Ubisoft game. I was just not really sure if it's a Ubisoft game for sure. But I will say they have Deadly Premonition. That's a Switch exclusive. The sequel to that game. That's a sequel. And also Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame. I think there's an exclusive Wii U game that's actually getting reported to the Switch now. So
I can see them doing ports and stuff like that, but I can't see Nintendo spending money to go out their way to go make to go develop a horror game like that. And I think too many people would be pissed off because they see them doing this. Everybody would be screaming, "Where's F-Zero? Where's all these other franchises that they've been asking for?"
I don't know, bro. I'll be honest though. I think if Nintendo had Silent Hill though, they'll freak out. Like I understand that the fan base they want F-Zero, they want all these things, but for sure I think they'll freak out. Like if it said Silent Hills is coming to the Switch, bro, that'll be insane. People like lose their mind, and they'll make mad money, you know. And Nintendo likes that money.
The fan base wants a Switch Pro, and they didn't get a Switch Pro. So honestly, I'm telling you right now, right? Nintendo's just thinking about it like, yo, we can't really compete too much with the appeal of the PlayStation and the Xbox because they're not pushing 4K. What can they do? Well, they could snag a chance to make a Silent Hill game for the Switch, and that would be huge for Nintendo.
So I want to say this too, right? In this article, it mentions the fact that they actually reached out to Supermassive Games, which is, Supermassive Games are the people who made Until Dawn and things like that. And they basically, they didn't go through. They wanted to make an episodic Silent Hill game, and they didn't go through.
Sucks it didn't go through because they're a pretty good developer. I could see them with a bigger budget because their whole I forgot what their Dark Man anthology. Series
Man of Medan or whatever.
Yeah, they're not bad with the horror. I think it's more Their horror is more like it's more movie like jump scares and stuff like that. But either way, man, I just the least likely, at least in my opinion, is Nintendo. I could see somehow Konami forgiving Kojima and them coming together and then decided to make a shitload of money together with Sony before it comes to
Yeah.
Nintendo.
So, right, we're gonna move on from this topic, but each person, real quick, give me your one answer. You had to choose. Just pick one prominent Japanese developer that you think it would be. You could base it off what you think it would be, or you could just do like your wish one. You just pick either one.
I love Square Enix, bro. So if it was Square Enix, that would just make me laugh so hard.
Kojima Productions.
Yeah, me too. I'll go Kojima. I think Kojima Productions would be the best answer for this. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what that is. Anything else you guys want to say about this topic?
No.
All right. Oh, wait, hold up. What's the... Sorry, move to the next one. It is... We're going to be talking about Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut. All right, so...
I have a lot to say about that.
Okay, so this is the next topic. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut arrives on PS5 and PS4 consoles on August 20th. And so let me see if I could pull up. There's basically the whole situation here is that obviously we're getting a Director's Cut of Ghost of Tsushima. We're getting an expansion. I don't know. I think we talked about this last week. I'm not really sure. But the new thing about this whole thing is that there's big controversy about the pricing of this thing and if it's fair enough and all that stuff. So the basic gist of it is, oh man, I'm trying to see if I can find the pricing here. Okay, so this is how it goes. If you already own Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, you can pre-order an upgrade of the Director's Cut on PS4 for $20. And then if you bought you could upgrade that to the PS5 version for $10. And then you can also upgrade directly from the original Ghost of Tsushima PS4 to the PS5 version for $30 with the upgrade and everything and all that stuff. So what are you guys thinking about this whole thing?
I don't. I'm telling you, right? Sony could sneeze the wrong way, and Twitter fanboys will lose their mind. This is not the first director's edition we get of a video game, right? Let's get that out the way. And in all honesty, this one is cross generation, right? And people are upset. I've seen, bro, we get games that get director's cut that same generation that people buy again for a full $60. Sony is offering people the option to, if you have the PS4 director's edition, you'll pay $10. If you have the normal Ghost of Tsushima version, you'll pay $30, and you get to upgrade to that version. Correct me if I'm wrong. Have we never had a director's cut before?
Nothing has been released called that on the PS5. This situation hasn't happened yet.
We got Street Fighter
in
Street Fighter 2 Turbo, $60, probably I think $70, both of them brand new back in the day. Street Fighter Championship Edition. Then after that, Street Fighter, the new Warriors.
Oh well, yeah, those. But I mean, specifically this PS5 situation. The only thing we ever got was what's it called? Spider-Man Remastered.
Why in the world are we looking at a director's cut of the game and you're only PS5? We've seen director's cuts through the last two generations religiously.
Say, can you say what is the pricing? What's the pricing again?
That's the thing is, I'll read it to you again, but I'll be honest, I don't understand what this is. I don't understand the pricing.
It's very easy because it's very simple. If you have Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, right? Just Ghost of Tsushima, like the way we have it, you pay $30. They'll upgrade you to the PS5 Director's Edition of the game, right? If you buy the PS4 version of the director's cut because you don't have a PS5, right? When you get a PS5, you pay $10 to upgrade that to a PS5 version. So they're
gonna come out with a separate direct. See, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna be playing this day one. I'm gonna
regardless,
be there.
absolutely.
However much money it costs to get it, I'm gonna upgrade.
Me too.
The pricing for this is retarded, and the pricing is the way how they're explaining it is stupid. It's confusing.
It's being
I get it now. The way you explain it makes sense now, but all that's super unnecessary.
Okay. So you do think it's unnecessary?
What happened?
I said, so you do think it's unnecessary?
I agree. Like I'm saying, I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna get the upgrade. But the way how PS5 is handling their whole upgrade delivery and everything like that, it's a big mess.
It is a mess.
Agreed. It's confusing. Yeah. That's my main problem.
Xbox.
Their message, the way how they're rolling out these upgrades and everything, their message is confusing. I'm still gonna pay for it, so I'm contributing to the problem, but it's confusing.
Xbox definitely handles that a lot better, especially like just cross generation things. But to me, the the price being $30 again, I don't think it's that serious because again, I bought games. And then when the Game of the Year edition comes out, I buy the game again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the first time that happened in life. It's just an outrage because it's
Bro,
specifically Sony and it specifically
I'm
happens
guilty
cross gen. That's the only reason why people are mad.
if I buy a game digital and I like physical media, if I buy a game digital and I like it enough physical, I buy the same exact game physical just for no reason at all. I'm
So
super guilty of that myself, man.
okay, so listen. So you buy physical by itself is $70, right? Just straight up for this game. Just $70 straight up. So you're saying if anyone has bought this game for $60 last August, which was like a year ago, they have to pay $30 now to get the PS5 version that comes with this whole Iki Island thing and all that stuff.
To get the PS5 version of the game, you pay $30.
Plus all the bells and whistles that come with it, like
Yeah, with the
sense
PS. Yep.
and everything.
Yep. I mean, listen. My only thing is this. This is what I will say. This is the defense I would allow people to have, right? Because to me, I don't care. Like, I would buy it. I mean, it. To me, I look at it as like I'm paying $30 for the new expansion, basically, and a PS5 version. Because I mean, there is no PS5 version, and that's the main thing I want to talk about. The fact that there is no native PS5 version of this game at all. So, I would see a thing where it's like I think Sony should have dropped the PS5 version of the game should have just been released, I guess, and let people upgrade to that for free. And like basically just had like basically you know how they upgraded the game and like upgraded the PS4 version that had 60 frames. They could have at least just made a PS5 version of the game.
You're talking about like Final Fantasy VII. They came out with a PS5 version, but you just don't have the
But
DLC.
how big do you think the Iki Island expansion is going to be? It really depends on how much how meaty that is. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's big enough, if it's worth the $30
Listen.
that they added to it.
To be fair, if it's anything like the actual games islands, those things are pretty big. I won't lie, that's a lot of content. Like each act or whatever, like all the separate sections of the Tsushima island, they're pretty lengthy in my opinion, and especially when they have like the mythic lore. What was it called? Like I forget. No. They had the like it's a different type of side quest basically. Like they had the side quest, and then they had like the mythic side quest or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is any different from what they used to do back in the day, like with computers when they had expansions and the expansion would cost like $30 for it. So I mean, I don't.
We're complaining.
And like even to help your point, right, JT? It's like honestly, let's think about it, right? If you own Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4, they upgraded you to the PS5 version for free, right? But guess how much the DLC was? $20. So if I had to pay $20 to get the DLC, even though I got the $5 version, the PS5 version for free, it's like it would have been any different if they release a DLC for this and charge. You get what I'm saying? Like it's literally just a bundle together. You can look at it however you want, but if they're gonna give you a free update and they're gonna put extra content and charge you for it, then either way it's the same thing.
But like, so I mean, it's not though. It's not the same thing because if they gave the PS5 version just for free, then that wouldn't be the same thing. You just wouldn't have the DLC. But the problem is there's just no such thing as a vanilla PS5 version of this game. The only version that exists is this new version, which is like the one that it's bundled in everything. So I can see where people are mad about that.
Literally, no, because literally most quote unquote
Special edition came out.
Yeah, you sound far, JT. At least on my screen.
Yeah, you do sound really far.
You sound like far. I can't hear you.
Hello?
I think I unplugged his mic. But until he comes back, I'm just saying when a lot of PS5 updates are literally just having the option to have 60 frames per second, which Ghost of Tsushima already has.
No, but again, no, but listen, like I definitely think they should definitely give a free PS5 version. Like that, I feel like that hurts nobody. Like that doesn't hurt anybody. Obviously, charge them for the DLC. That's fine. Charge $30 for DLC. That makes sense. Cool, whatever. But you know, to charge someone to have to use the PS5 version, I just feel like it's kind of dumb. I mean, it's the same exact game, you know. But the problem is they're getting away with it because they're making it like, oh, it's not the same game because we're not giving you the option at all. We're just gonna force you to have to. If you want to play the PS5 version, it's the director's cut. There is no such thing as a PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima. So I mean, again, I can see where the anger comes from. I get it. You feel me?
Can you hear?
That's that.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit. Keep talking a little bit.
Yeah.
It sounds very like tinny
It
now.
still sounds a little far, but it's.
Let me
But
leave and come back.
Oh, no
That'll
problem.
fix it.
Oh no, you sound better now.
Okay, hey.
Oh, you sound better. You do sound better.
Oh,
Yeah, you sound better
everybody, a lot of people are complaining about the same exact thing happened with Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Special Edition is only out for PS5. It's only out for next gen, and the only thing they had was version added another character, and it's 40. I think it's 30 or 40 bucks. Nobody was complaining about that at all.
Oh, well, that was an
now.
upgrade.
Yeah, I heard you, JT, but I heard you, but your mic was still messing up.
That's the one I own. I own it digital on the PS4, and I went and I spent another $30 to get the copy for PS5. That's the only way you can get it.
So was there an upgrade at all, or
Yeah,
was it straight up you to buy it?
No, there's no upgrade.
Now you just buy
Yeah,
it.
you have to get it. There was no upgrade for the PS4 version to get it next gen.
And it was $30.
That's 40,
I think it's
40.
$39.99.
40. Yeah, I think it's almost the same exact situation as Tsushima.
Yeah. Nah, listen, I get it. I mean, this is different in every aspect. You know,
it ends up
it's
being
different
the same
always.
thing, honestly. It ends up being the same thing no matter how you look at it. It's just, again, the only difference will be if you choose not to buy the DLC, then you all you're losing out on is lip sync and haptic feedback.
It's true. If you don't think it's worth it, just get the regular version. It's not like it's
The regular version, exactly. That version still
Yeah.
exists, and you can still play that at 60 frames per second on your
very
PS5.
true.
Yeah. JT, you are kind of botting. Like, you do sound a little bit off.
Yeah, you do sound weird, JT. You want to pop out and then pop back in?
Yeah, let me do that.
So what's the next topic?
Next topic. What are we on to next? It's Ghost. Let's get out the Ghost. All right. Well, it's another PlayStation topic. Uh-oh. Let's wait till
And
he
what
gets
is it?
back in. The next topic is the Nixxes software. So PlayStation has purchased Nixxes software, which is basically a oh wow, the article didn't show up. But PlayStation bought a Nixxes software, which is basically a company that ports games to PC, basically.
Yeah, reading and weeb fanboys. The PC game, PlayStation games are coming to PC 100%.
Yeah, how does it sound now?
You sound better.
It sounds
Cool.
better. Yeah, they purchased that studio for one reason and one reason only. To have a designated studio to start porting back some of the older games that aren't going to be living anymore on PlayStation 4. They need a place to revitalize, get more sales, get more money, and they're going to PC.
You think it's a bad idea?
No, hell no. That's perfect. I mean, listen, I think it becomes a problem if games like, Last of Us 2 would have came out day one on both of them. Then, yeah, at that point, then what's the point of having it? But come on, like I made a video of this on my channel, and it's like, really, what's going to hurt from putting Horizon Zero Dawn on PC? Like, if you were going to play that game, you already played it. And if you didn't, you didn't.
I don't see anything wrong with it because I think, man, if you like these games and you want more sequels to be made, you want more money to be pumped into these games, you want more exposure for them. So anybody complaining about these games, you don't realize all you're doing is hurting the games that you like.
That's true.
Yeah, because ultimately Sony's going to use the money that they're getting to work on the games that are going to be coming out on the consoles. They're not going to sit there and take money that they're making and use it for PC ports. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the
You're
point.
right.
I mean, okay, but do you guys have a problem if this, because obviously now they acquired a studio that basically focuses on making PC ports, so that means they're going to be able to, pump them out more, so they don't have to have their own studios, working double to make, a PC port after the fact. So they're going to have a dedicated studio for it and probably some other studios that we don't even know of that just kind of a system or something. So that means they're going to be able to pump out more of these PC ports. Do you guys think that this will possibly have the possibility to have day and date, like day one PC ports of the PS5 games? Like, let's say God of War Ragnarok comes out, there's a PC version of it day one. What do you guys think?
Listen, if they are gonna go that route, cool. But the correct way to do that is to make sure that they have a launcher that's solely a PlayStation launcher, right? Where at the least it doesn't have to be like exclusive to the launcher, right? Put it on Steam, put it wherever you want to put it, right? But these games has to have a launcher, a designated home that a PlayStation fan could go and buy this game on PC and still receive trophies and benefits to the PlayStation name and to their PlayStation name. And as long as there's a launcher, then I don't think that that's the worst thing in the world. But I would prefer if they want to keep the value of the consoles up, then the games need to go to the consoles first and then PC.
I don't see I don't see a problem with it as long as it wouldn't compromise anything with like the PS5 version. I wouldn't care if it came out PC day one, as long as like it didn't make them they had to delay DualSense feedback or DualSense integration or something like that.
Okay.
So I mean, like yeah, the more people who are exposed to better games, the better.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with what Ann was talking about. Like, for sure, PlayStation. I'm pretty happy PlayStation is supporting their games to PC because again, like you guys said, like more people playing these good games is just good because people start understanding that there's good games out there that they could play because Days Gone dropped on Steam and everyone's like loving that thing and it sold so well. But again, it's like at least to me, that was like kind of a mediocre PlayStation game. Like it wasn't bad or anything, but it wasn't the best thing ever. But on PC, it was a great ass game because obviously they don't really have much there. You know what I mean? So it would be cool to have more PlayStation games on PC. The only thing I see that's wrong with it is that there needs to be a dedicated launcher for sure, like Ant said. There has to be a place where you could put them on Steam so people could just play them like that if they want to. But I think the best way to do it is to also have a launcher itself, so that I could play on PC happily and still earn trophies and things like that. And also it just makes it feel like when you go online on PC, maybe you could still go on a party chat with your friends through there or something or whatever it has to be, like, and still message people through the launcher itself. Like, I definitely think Sony could like develop something like that and host something like that, and I think it would be really cool. But other than that, that's one thing that's really negative.
One big thing I just want to throw out there real quick, and it's important to note about PC games and like PlayStation games and Xbox games. PC gamers for a long time are blank canvases, right? And if you notice, a lot of PC gamers enjoy Xbox games because Xbox games are accessible to them and Sony games aren't, which tend to lead to a hate towards Sony, right? So PC gamers are a blank canvas when they get an array of good games coming. Imagine, right? Like the reason you think Days Gone was mediocre was because you're literally comparing it to some of the greatest games ever created. Because Sony is notoriously known for releasing good games, right? But when it goes to PC, like sure, PC has great exclusives and stuff like that, but they're PC games that are literally PC games. They run like PC games. You know what I'm saying? Like MMOs and MOBAs and stuff like that. But when they get a game like Days Gone, that's a different quality they're not used to. Because think about it. Days Gone is better than a lot of stuff than Xbox has put out this gen, right? So when they're used to getting Xbox games day one hand in hand, but they're sitting there getting now PS4 games and they're enjoying them, they're a blank canvas.
You don't think Xbox has anything comparable, like single player story driven to Days Gone? Because I agree. I think Days Gone, I liked it, but I think it's average. I think it's like a 7 out of 10.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta help my daughter. But
No problem.
no, they definitely don't have anything.
But yeah, so what'd you ask again? Say that again.
I was asking, you don't think any because you were saying Days Gone, you think it's an average game, but a lot of PC players they loved it because they don't really have anything like that. I was asking, you don't think on Xbox they don't have anything like single player story driven that's comparable to Days Gone?
I mean, I think like Gears of War. I think that in my opinion, I think Gears of War is probably the closest thing that Microsoft has at all in general that is close to something like that, or even Quantum Break. But even Quantum Break, I don't even think they own that. I think Remedy made that or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I agree, man.
But honestly, does Microsoft own Remedy? I'm not really even sure. I don't know.
No, because Remedy did Control.
Yeah, I know they made Control, but did they buy them ever since after that or anything? Probably not.
They might own the IP for Quantum Break, but I don't think they owned Remedy the studio.
Okay. Yeah, but so in my opinion, I don't know if you agree with that at all. But I think the only games that they have that are kind of like I'd say like Uncharted or The Last of Us or like even like God of War are like Gears of War and maybe like Quantum Break. Like I don't think like Halo is not a game like that. Like, that game is just mainly about shooting stuff. That's it.
You're right. That's the only really like story driven, and I wouldn't even though I would call it a distant cousin to like a story driven game, because even though as story driven as Gears of War is, it's mainly a 4-player squad based shooter.
It is.
It's not
Yeah,
even,
I agree. Like the focus isn't really even on the story. It really is just on the fact that you could play it with your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting. So anything else you want to say about this whole this PlayStation acquiring this studio to do these PC ports?
Other than I think it's good news. I think that's good.
Okay, okay. So we'll be moving on to the next topic here. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is what is it? So basically, there's this whole like thing that went down on Twitter. Basically, it was about PlayStation and indie studios and their neglect, basically. And basically, some developers just came out on Twitter and they were just talking about the fact that they on PlayStation, it's very old-fashioned the way that they do their business when it comes to smaller indie studios and smaller self-publishers and things like that. And like some examples just being the fact that basically they're talking. One of the main things I saw about this is that when it comes to sales, they don't have the control of that. They can't just put a game on sale and like let's say go on Twitter and like be like, hey, our game is on sale on PlayStation, like get it now. Like then they're talking about how like a Switch and on Steam and on I don't and even on Xbox. I really don't know if they specifically said Xbox, but they said in other places it's a lot easier. And there's even things that some of these devs are even saying like it's not even worth it to put their games on PlayStation for them specifically. You know, so
Is that is that the same article where they said like some indie developers they have to pay like a $25,000 or
yeah,
something like that?
yes,
Oh man.
yes,
So
yeah.
I don't know how much it costs to put your indie on any other like platform on Steam or on Microsoft or like Game Pass or anything like that. But that does sound extremely like it makes sense because Sony the way how from what I've heard from what I read online, Sony is really old school about doing their business. They're not really they're really rigid because Sony is the out of all the companies out there doing crossplay, Sony's the one that's been so like with a stick up their butt. They don't want to do
Uh-huh.
crossplay between all the other systems. This sounds like more of the usual Sonyness where they're just old fashioned with their rules.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's why when I hear this news, it's not that like surprising. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like a lot of when I saw a lot of people talking about this on Twitter, and again at the beginning they were trying to be very like secretive about it. They were just kind of saying like, oh, like trying to dodge it, but then some people just straight up started saying like, yeah, man, like nah, the PlayStation has a problem with indies. Like it's just hard to unless you're gonna pay them the money to be featured, and even when you get featured, it isn't enough sometimes either. So it's like you're usually able to go on Switch or on Steam and stuff and be able to just control their sales. Like when a sale happens on PlayStation, you have to be invited to have your game discounted. And also they are also talking about the fact that you can't launch your game with a discount like you can on Switch and on Steam and things like that. Like you can't be like, oh, our new game's out, and for the first like 3 days or something like that is going to be 50% off or like 10% off 15, and then like change the price later. You can't control any of that. On PlayStation, you have to be invited to do any of these things, and they also don't tell you your sales figures at the right time. Like they send you like some weird like Excel spreadsheet or something like that, and like it's very hard to understand. So again, they're just talking about how like for smaller indie devs, it's just hard to develop on or even to sell basically on PlayStation.
what do you think that's more Sony being old fashioned with their rules and the way how they do business, or do you think it's just Sony doesn't like indie developers? They just want to focus on like single player story driven games that they pour millions of dollars into.
I can tell you what it is. You know what
You
it
know,
is? Sony. So have you been on the Nintendo Switch store? You can't find anything on that store, right? And it's because it's not optimized. Sony doesn't want panty parties being in the front of the list. Sony doesn't want a random $30 game going on sale for $1 and topping the store for 2 weeks. They don't want any of that. If you want to make a game and you want to advertise on Sony, you pay the price. You know what I'm saying? If you're a smaller title and it doesn't work for you, you go somewhere else. I mean, literally, if you want to make a successful indie game, you go to Steam and you release an early access game that you could build with the community and grow. You don't just make a random indie game and say, "Let me go put this on the PlayStation." Because if you ever been on the PlayStation store, you just know that that's not what that's for.
sounds about right.
Yeah, again, like you said, I don't think it's like Sony like hating indie studios at all. I just think it's a thing where I will say I'm not gonna say that it's like oh they're perfect because again I do think it's a little bit backwards to do a lot of little things like oh you can't put your game on sale right when it launches. It's like some devs they want to be able to control their own marketing. It's like if you want to put your thing on sale this weekend because there's a specific thing that's for your game, like there's like, oh, like let's say if it's a live service game, as an indie game or like a fighting game, and it's like, oh, this weekend a new character came out. It's like you had to be invited, and you had to like pre-do like a big plan with Sony to even allow you to be a part of a themed sale to be a part of, to be like, okay, this is your sale could be active at this time. So I think for the consumers at least, and for the developers themselves, I think it's a good thing if Sony could like rework that out, because I understand obviously they don't want like games that are like super expensive to go on sale for $1. Like obviously just make that rule, but I don't think it should be a thing where you have to be invited. It has to be like this super secretive thing where it's like you don't even know how much money you're making on the platform until like 5 months later or something like that. It's like that's just bad to me. I just feel like that's just very old school.
Yeah, they definitely rework that and have a better strategy for those things like that. But again, it's just like me as a person, the way I am. I would just look at that as an objective. I would like to have my indie game be successful enough that when I put it on PlayStation, I don't have those headaches. I would use it as a measuring stick versus a thing that's supposedly holding them down. I mean, there's so many platforms where indie games thrive so well on that, like PlayStation even has issues getting games like Hades for like 2 years and stuff like that. Because again, indies just notoriously just they don't move that well on PlayStation. A lot of it's proven across time. Like when an indie comes out on a PlayStation, on the Switch, and on the Xbox, it's always sold better on Switch. Always. That's where
I mean,
indie games sell well.
but I
That's
will
where
say
Steam is
wasn't
where indie games sell.
it wasn't always like that though. You feel me? Like especially in the beginning of the PS4, like that was like their focus. They focus on like indies, and it was a great place to play.
That's okay though. You know what I'm saying? That was then. This is now. Sony is in such a different spot that it was when the PS4 launched to the power spot that they're in right now. That just doesn't need to be a priority for them.
I can't even think. What's a major indie that was on PS4 like when they were focused on indies?
Like,
I can't even.
I guess.
Journey and things like that. Like, those were really their big games. Like that was Sony even first party, like not first party, but that was their own like exclusives
Journey.
at the time.
Ones like that.
Yeah, like Journey. I remember they made Resogun. All of Housemarque is all indie games. Like, that's all it was. You feel me? So like
Yeah, sure.
all those type of things. Well, those were all that stuff. So I mean, again, I don't think they hate indies or anything like that. I just think at the core of how the business is, they just need to fix some stuff, and I think they'll be good. But yeah, so I guess anyone have anything else to say about this topic?
Nah.
All right, so we'll move on to our last topic of the day, and that is on a big game that is very anticipated, and we've always get a little bit of bursts of news on this game, and we got some new things. So basically, reports suggest that Grand Theft Auto 6 could be releasing in 2024 or 2025. So that's pretty interesting news because, as you all know, that would be definitely well over 10 years since the original game came out. So yeah, the original came out in 2013 on the PS3 and 360. And yeah, man, it's a very interesting headline to read that this game could possibly be coming out in 2024 or 2025. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I just want to say real fast, as unbelievable as that sounds, I 100% believe it because Rockstar's banking so much money with GTA Online right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe GTA 5 is going on as long as it has. I can't believe it, man. It amazes me.
Stronger than
it has outlived system generations.
That's insane.
System life cycle, however you want to call it. It outlived the damn PS4. It went from PS3 to PS4. It's on PS5. It's insane.
Realistically, most games don't even have life cycle, so the fact that you have to bring that up is insane. Because honestly, right, all that tells me is if you were waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 for some reason to jump into Grand Theft Auto, you have more than enough time to jump into Grand Theft Auto 5 online and make money. What I do question is, right, do they just release Grand Theft Auto 6 as a game that has a story mode, but GTA Online just transfers over? So they keep making, or do they make everyone restart GTA Online so they can make another few billion? What do you guys think?
So what are you saying? Like, they're gonna make a new GTA Online, or they're gonna continue it? You're saying?
GTA Online.
Like, well, because since we never seen like a Grand Theft Auto last this long, right?
Yeah.
When GTA 6 comes out, are we looking at just a story, or do you think GTA Online carries over to GTA 6, or do you think they're gonna make everyone start
I
completely
think it
over?
absolutely carries over, man. And I'm just real fast. I'm just gonna say, I think personally, GTA Online killed the story for GTA, the single player mode, because I remember Grand Theft Auto 3. Then you had Vice City stories, you had Liberty City stories, you had even for GTA 4, you had the Lost and the Damned, you had the Ballad of Gay Tony. They had expansions. They
Yep.
don't exist anymore because GTA Online is making too much money. And why would Rockstar? Why would they take away money? Why would they put away money to make a single player game where people play and then they don't do anything else when they have GTA Online where people are continuously pumping in their money to buy whatever the hell they want in that game? I think they're going to keep it going as long as possible.
So you're
Honestly,
saying,
like, with
but
GTA Online, they could.
so I mean, your question was
Go
basically
ahead.
saying that GTA Online, like, this GTA Online, you're talking about this game, this exact one. If it's gonna continue, they're just gonna make a single player version of GTA 6. You're saying?
Yeah, because like honestly, right? What would stop them from just adding on GTA Online the GTA 6 map and having the option between the two maps, just maps for online and the story mode? Just like how kind of like Warzone is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
It's like on when you have
the
like
only
not the
issue.
free aspect of it, but Warzone.
Listen, I will say this, right? I'll say this. This is what I'll say about that. What you're trying to say here. So you're basically saying they're gonna make it like a service-based thing. They're just gonna update it or whatever. The issue with that is,
I'm just asking.
no. I'm just gonna give you the answer of why I think it won't be like that. Because GTA 5 is GTA Online. You need to buy GTA 5 to play GTA Online. If you've seen what they did with Red Dead 2, which they made the online separate, that should show you the future and what they're thinking. I think they're gonna make a GTA 6 and you're gonna be able to use GTA 6 online there, but they're also gonna make a separate download you could have to just play online by itself. So they're gonna do what they did with
That's
Red
what I
Dead.
meant, like
What?
or Red, like Wars Red Dead. Like it would just be a separate thing that you buy, even though Warzone's free, but you would buy it, and GTA Online would just be GTA Online.
I mean, I think you could buy GTA 6 and it'll just come with it. But I think they're gonna have the option to buy it for
No,
$20 by itself.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like you could buy GTA Online, or they'll just have the option if you're not interested in the single player mode, you could just buy GTA.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you right now.
that comes with the GTA 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now. That's not happening day one though. That's definitely happening like a year or two after, or like.
That's really
GTA
cool.
5 with GTA Online, it took them damn near like, I know it wasn't right on launch that GTA Online came out.
Oh no,
It took a while.
it launched a month after the game came out. Yeah.
Was it that fast? I don't remember. I know.
Yeah, it came. Yeah, it was like the game came out I think in September, and then the online launched in October. But then like I think even the online was like buggy, like very very buggy when it first launched. It was like delayed for a long time.
The whole experience with GTA Online is when it first launched, like vanilla GTA Online, and then I saw like one of my friends play it maybe last year sometime. It's like a different game. It was barren when it first started.
Real quick on the chat, Bob Ross says that we're actually wrong. GTA 5 Online is coming to PS5 for free without a single player game. I haven't heard that, but if they do that, then most definitely it's safe to assume that GTA 6 would either it could come with the game or. Huh?
Oh no, I was just gonna say like I just disagree because I think just like we're talking about the Nintendo situation, bro, Rockstar is not that generous. Take-Two, the people who own them, who own 2K and all that stuff, these people are not generous at all. They're gonna make you guys pay for this. They are not gonna make this thing free. Like I would literally be super surprised if GTA Online has no upfront paid admission to go and play that thing. I think what they're gonna do is exactly what they do all the time. They're gonna drop a GTA 5 or GTA 6 game, right? And then it's gonna have the online attached to that, and that's the only way you can play it, by buying the game, right? And it's only gonna come out on Xbox and on PS5. That's it. And then 2 years later, it'll drop on PC, and then it'll come out on PC, and then maybe when it drops on PC, that's when they make the separate version that has the online part, or something like that, because people are going to try to milk you forever. They're not going to sit here and just be like, oh yeah, you guys could just have it for free. They know how much money they make. They made $1 billion in a day off of GTA 5 on a PS3 and 360 consoles. Yeah, they're not going to sit here and be like, oh, you guys could just have it for free. They just can't bet on shark cards the whole time. They can't do that.
Everything you're saying is
I agree.
100% right. But the only caveat I'll throw out there, didn't the like president of Rockstar just like leave or quit or something like last week or something like that?
Well, last week. Oh well, I know Dan Houser, the writer. Like he's a part of the single player stuff. He left. One of the brothers. I think one of them still works there, but the other guy he doesn't work there anymore. But he's one of the writers. I don't know if any of that would matter. But I don't know who you're talking about. That might be someone else.
I could be wrong, but I could have sworn someone really high up just left. And it was someone high up. I'm like, hey, maybe it's someone high up who could make different decisions in the company. But if it's just a writer, you're right.
To be fair, Dan like the writer is like they made the game. They made GTA. They made all that.
He's like, I think he's the founder, right?
Yeah, they're one of the founders. Yeah, there's two brothers. They're the ones who made the games, the original games and everything. So, yeah.
But I was only throwing that up there. But other than that, I think you're right. I think Rockstar is going to do exactly what they've been doing for the past decade. They're going to release it. Then they're going to keep on making the money how they know they're going to make money.
Yeah. Someone said I'm not disagreeing. It's been reported they ain't making an offline game, only online. What? The reason it's gonna be free on PS5 is because it's been out forever. Oh, what are they talking about? GTA 5? Oh, GTA 5 online. I thought he was talking about GTA 5. He's talking about GTA 5 online. I thought he was talking about GTA 6.
Yeah.
No, he's saying GTA 5 online is.
Yeah, if they haven't.
Which leads back to the thing of when GTA 6 comes out. If you don't want to buy the game of GTA 6, you'll probably pay $30, $40, and be able just to get the upgrade for the online to the free PS5 version you have. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe that could be a thing, but I just see them being like very greedy with this. And I also will say too is like, what is the point of having GTA Online and like use that old tech? I just feel like that tech, it might be super old, bro. That's from PS3 and 360 era. Like, I don't know if they would want to use that anymore. Like, I just feel like, in my opinion, I think it would be better to just start fresh and make a whole new GTA Online that launches with GTA 6, and then just build upon that. You know.
Bethesda's been using that same engine for like 20 years, right?
That's true. They made a new one though. I think they made a new version of it or something like that for Star whatever, and the other thing.
Yeah, whatever. But let's not get sidetracked by Bethesda. I was just making a joke.
yeah. No, but yeah. But I do think they'll make a new launcher for it. I don't know. I don't know if they'll just use the old GTA 5 engine. But
what is it? What GTA 5 use, the Euphoria or something like that?
No, they use that. I think Euphoria is just a piece of. That's the motion part of the game, like the animations. That they use that in GTA 4. I don't know if GTA 5 uses it, but all I know is that for sure, like if they use it in GTA 5, they modified it heavily from when they use it on GTA 4. GTA 4 has a more realistic version of Euphoria than basically GTA 5.
Okay.
Yeah. That just goes on to the ragdoll physics and everything.
I don't know how true this is, but I mean, like a year or two ago, I heard that Rockstar, they were going to do a full-on a PS5 version of Red Dead 2 with the entire map from Red Dead 1 included in it, and have like a remake of Red Dead 1 in it. I've heard nothing about that for the past year, but maybe if that's true, maybe that's what's going to hold us over until GTA 6 comes out in 2025.
That'd be cool. I mean, Red Dead 2 already has the entire map of Red Dead 1. Not entire, but like the top half at least.
It has a good portion of it.
Yeah, just to have Mexico. That's it.
It's work on the PS5 version for Red Dead is not crazy at all, and I most definitely believe that's coming.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm surprised it ain't here yet.
No, that's gonna take forever, but I promise you that's gonna come.
But yeah, so other than that, anything else you guys want to say about this? Oh, my camera's dying.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see if that's anyone waiting for GTA 6. You know, sorry, bud.
Think about it. Anybody who's a fan of GTA 5 right now, they're 5 years old. They're gonna be like 10 when they play GTA 6. They're gonna be like in middle school.
Man, my camera's going crazy.
I'm upset that.
But I'll go ahead.
Now saying I'm upset that I was in damn near like middle high school when GTA 6 came out. Now I'm a grown man with a family. And when GTA 5 came out, I'm a grown man with a family, and GTA 5 is still here.
That's true. That's right, man. GTA 5 came out before my daughter was born. GTA 5 is still here.
Wow.
My daughter's in school, like
That's
going to the
crazy.
school.
Yeah.
A hun-
I remember when GTA 5 came out. I went to the
Like,
midnight release, bro. It was awesome. I was in high school.
it's like in the chat right now. In the chat, Bob Ross said at this point they don't even need to make a GTA 6. As long as people keep spending so much money on GTA 5, it's not going away. And honestly, again, all they have to do is release the next new car and just make it an absurd amount of money that people need to grind for, and they'll just keep making millions and millions and millions. Especially now
100%.
with GTA Online, like getting a huge revival with role playing. I mean, yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah. That role playing thing is crazy. But
I think it's dope. It's weird, but it's dope for sure at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen that, JT?
Not at all, man. I'm gonna go check it out.
Oh,
yeah, it's like a
People go
modded
into,
version
like,
of GTA, yeah.
yeah, it's like a mod, right? And then like what happens is like you literally role play. Like if your character gets into a gang, you act like a gang member, right? So like let's say you're just starting out in the role playing world and you're a normal civilian. I'm a gang member. I run up to you and I pull out a gun and you pull out a gun on me. Like that's not role playing, and you'll just get banned from the server. Like you have to like be scared to let me rob you. It's weird, but at the same time, it's cool to see that something so odd. What happened?
Well, no, it sounds
Well, I was gonna say,
awesome, man.
Oh, it is. I'm telling you, it is awesome. But at the same time, it's very weird to sit there and role play like that. But I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
experiencing- my older brother, yeah, my older brother, his favorite series is Grand Theft Auto, and I'm talking about he's loved Grand Theft Auto since PS1, the top-down 2D games, GTA London and GTA 2. He loved before they went 3D. My brother, he will sit there and he'll play GTA 4, following all the laws. He's using,
You know, I did
I'm
that.
talking about following the street signs, stopping at the red lights and
Yeah,
everything.
I done did that before. Being bored in Grand Theft Auto 5, I started driving around following the laws.
That's what I'm saying. People do it, man. People enjoy their games in different ways. Who am I
yeah.
to-
Yeah, I can't lie. It'd be dope if we had a share button little server for that where we was just fucking mobsters and gang leaders.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, man. The thing is that it's popular. I pulled it up on the screen here, but basically, Travis Scott and LeBron have played GTRP and stuff. And I know there's another rapper, T Grizzly. I think he has his own server, and he just invites famous people to play with him and stuff.
That's what's up.
It's crazy, bro.
That's
It's
hilarious.
insane. But yeah, man. Anything else you guys want to say about this whole thing?
Done with that one.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, before I go, I'm scrolling through this article. I see Kevin Durant. He tweeted about it. He has a picture of him in it. Anthony Davis.
Damn.
That's insane that people are like, and again, this is something that's like relatively, like I guess kind of new, or like at least new to being popular.
Yeah, it's new to being popular for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure people have been doing
Yeah.
it forever.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I think that's the show, you know? That was a great episode 2 of the Share Button podcast. We talked about some pretty interesting stuff today. So we're going to head out of here. Before we go, I want to just give some outros. So you can go ahead, Ant, give your outro.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Anthogar or on YouTube at Anthogar. I semi-religiously post content if you're interested in any of the things I said. And for me, that's it. Thanks for coming out. I had a great podcast, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 7.
I have absolutely nothing on Twitter, but I am Umbrella HQ 420. If you want to see some fighting game related stuff, I'm Umbrella HQ on YouTube. I got a variety of different fighting games, and it's been a while since I posted, but I got videos going years back. So, like I said, thanks for having me, guys. It was a awesome podcast.
All right, man. So, all right, guys. We'll see you guys next week, 7 p.m. Thank you guys so much for watching.